Well, we're here in the beautiful surroundings of Glasgow University, and I'm delighted to be out with members of the Glasgow University Student Nationalist Association today. Having started my own experience in the SNP as a student campaigner back in the days when we still had tuition fees. Tuition fees, of course, abolished by the SNP government, one of the many achievements over the last 10 years. And now on June the 8th, people have the choice about who they want to represent them in the House of Commons. And we're asking for as many votes as possible here in Glasgow North, across the city and across the country, for the SNP to send a strong team of SNP voices back down to Westminster to make sure that Scotland's voice is heard loud and clear. Heard by a Conservative government that wants to clip the wings of Scotland's democratically elected parliament, that wants to force austerity onto more and more people and onto the public services, and wants to take us into the hardest of hard Brexits. The impact that'll have here in a diverse community such as Glasgow North, with so many people from European countries contributing to our society, our culture and our economy, has the potential to be absolutely devastating. The Tories need to hear loud and clear that Scotland is and wants to remain a European country. We want to welcome people into our society. And the difference that has been made in universities is very clear. One of the most important issues in this election is going to be who speaks for Scotland and how Scotland's voice is heard. We've seen a Tory government that wants to clip the wings of the Scottish Parliament, that won't tell us what powers would be devolved to Scotland in the event of Brexit, and that wants to ignore the democratic mandate of the Scottish Parliament, that wants to give Scotland's people a choice over Scotland's future. It's SNP voices elected to Westminster on the 8th of June that will make that difference, that will make sure our voice is heard. In every election, there's a question about what kind of a country do we want to be, and in this election in particular, that question must be on the forefront of voters' minds. Do we want to be a country that spends hundreds of billions of pounds on nuclear weapons and plants them on the coast just 30 miles from Scotland's biggest city? Or do we want our priorities to be investing in our future, investing in the protection of our social security system for the poorest and most vulnerable in society, investing in our children's future through schools and hospitals and education, investing in the employers and employees of the future at universities here in Glasgow? Do we want Scotland to be a good global citizen, playing a role in the world, meeting our commitments in international aid, meeting our commitments to tackle climate change, meeting our commitments to build peace and security and stability? Or do we want to be taking down the hard Tory Brexit route of isolationism and cutting ourselves off from the rest of the world? That's the choice, and the vision that the SNP members of Parliament elect on the 8th of June will take forward is clear. We want Scotland to be an outward-looking progressive country, playing our part in the world, meeting our global commitments and building a fairer, more just and sustainable world for people here at home in Scotland and across the globe.